Hello everybody, and welcome to PAVA Gamer Talk, where each and every single week, or at least I try to, we talk about something current that's going on in the anime world, and an anime that I'm following, and we talk a bit about that. Um, Furthermore, this is just me talking in this one picture. If you're not into just hearing one guy ramble over and over again, and just hear him fumble over his own words, over his own words, and just going off on a tangent. I mean, that was an early example. But if you're not into that, then please leave. All you see is picture and hear my voice. So if you're not into that, please leave. If you are into that, then please stay. And see, because today we'll be talking about Fairy Tail and some of the filler episodes and the start of the new arc, along with the new opening. So yeah, let's get right into that. And first thing that I want to talk about is the opening. I really did like the opening, and however, I do not completely agree where the opening was placed. I just watched the newest episode, which is today. So if you guys have yet to watch the last several episodes, please do that before, because I'm going to give out some spoil. So this will definitely spoil. So please watch the latest episodes, which I feel like we're at episode 130. Or then not 130, but 30 episodes of the new revamped Fairy Tail. So please watch that, and yeah, blah, blah, blah. So I believe that the opening should have been this week, or maybe next week, and not last week, because I feel like it gave a little too much away a little too early. Last week was some of you guys know, a filler episode, or not exactly a main episode. I feel like it was actually in the comics, well, not comics, but the manga, but it wasn't really the main story. The main story has started this episode. However, you would not be able to tell the first part of the episode based on just that alone. If you just watch the first episode without the opening or the endings or the last minute or so of the last episode, which gave you a little bit of preview of this episode, then you would not have known this was a filler or not based on the first 4 or 5 minutes. It would have kind of felt a little filler-ish. But at the same time, there was enough to deviate the fact that it was filler from not filler. So I do kind of like that. So it's meh. I do like this episode, though. I do find it's kind of cool. I do like the angle. They're talking more with the celestial spirits, and I feel like they have not really talked too much about it, because honestly, that has always kind of, made me wonder a little bit. And also, how did Lucy get some of the keys that she first started off with? Because when she first started in the anime, the first few episodes, we saw her having like 2 or 3. We saw first with Aquarius and Tauros. I do not know how she got Tauros. Actually, last episode was not really so much a filler, so I do think that it was okay, because last episode it was giving each and every single character some, they were giving them a reward of sorts, but it almost felt filler-ish, to the point where they could have gone a completely different arc and it would have been fine. So I don't know if the opening was right where they were or not, but I'm fine with that. I just realized the ending of the last episode with Aquarius, and that we find out that she actually had Aquarius since she was younger. First of all, I want to question her parents of what the fuck they were thinking when giving a grouchy bitch to a little girl who has no friends. You give a forever alone girl a celestial spirit that's not really nice, and I really don't think that should have been the thing there. I believe Lucy's mom also had Capricorn, so I feel like Capricorn would have been a better fit for Lucy, because Capricorn, just look at him. He just looks badass. He looks like he would be like one that would not mind too much. Another few people that I feel like would have been okay for Lucy is Aries and Leo. However, they're both Aries and Leo were not in her possession at that time, so yeah. Or her mom's possession either, so I feel like Aries would have been very good for Lucy or Virgo as well. Basically, I feel like the Earth signs would have been good for her. You know? Yeah, I feel like definitely the Earth signs would have been fine for her. But yeah, that's what it is. So the last filler episodes were some of the filler episodes just felt like for me, and some people would also agree with this, have been saying in the comment sections of some of the stuff that it's just a way to see how many outfits Erza can be in. You know, sometimes people feel like this anime has gone towards a little bit too much of the fact that fan service where Erza wears like the weirdest outfits ever, like feels awesome in them. Like really, like even this episode, she was like wearing a digger's outfit and like she still looked hot and badass in it. Like I feel like you could put Erza in almost anything, she looked hot and badass in it. Because Garrison in her own way is a little quirky in her own special way, in a very fun, loving way. It's very fun to watch her wear tons of different outfits and feel awesome in it. And sometimes we feel like she gets a little neglected on her child. That sometimes with some of her actions, we remember she did not really have that good of a childhood because I feel like not feel like, but like a few years ago, like a year or two ago, I remember like an episode where they were on a picnic. I think this was the filler episode, and the Reds have a picnic and everything was all set up, and Ezra had put so much effort into it, and then it was kind of ruined by, I think, Elephant stepped on her cake or something. And you don't step on Erza's fucking cake. I've realized that from watching this anime. You just don't step on her fucking cake. She will wreck you. Because she just loves her cake. She's surprisingly feminine. You don't see that just by looking at her first glance. You just see her as a badass girl, but there's something, she's a little childish sometimes and likes to dress up. Anyway, like I was saying, some of these episodes I feel like there's ways to get dressed up in weird ways. I do enjoy it to a degree, I will not deny it. As a male, as a straight male, I do enjoy seeing all the ways they can put Erza in those costumes, but at the same time, it's kind of sometimes I just feel like if the whole entire point of the filler was to make Erza look hot and badass and waifu-ish and whatever kind, like I said in this episode, they just made her look like a digger waifu or construction work waifu. Like, come on. Anyway, back to the actual episode. What I feel like of the episode, this episode in particular, I do like the direction of this arc, like I said, with the characters and give them maybe a little bit more backstory and like explain more of what's going on. I am very much interested and intrigued by this arc, and I feel like this is kind of the kind of arc they would have to use right after such a great arc that they had. Of course, the tournament arc. I forgot the name of the arc, but I just felt like that arc was just so good. It was hard. Sometimes it's hard to live up to a certain arc. And I don't know if this arc will be able to do so, but I feel like this arc might. Talking about celestial spirits and having them have a rebellion is kind of cool, and I like the fact how vastly different they look from each other's normal outfits. They actually look tougher, and they're like you would take them seriously. Each and every single one of these guys, you can't really take too many of them seriously, except for maybe Capricorn. It's like, seriously, he just looks like a badass. Leo too, maybe. But some of them I feel like you just can't take them all that seriously. They just don't look serious. But and some of them just look totally different. One thing is Aquarius has turned into a very bitchy, beautiful woman to a lolly, a very cute moe lolly. Happy said it for me. It scares me a little. It's like I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. Like her cuteness. I feel like any minute as soon as I say "aw," she's gonna bitch at me. She just makes me nervous. Tauros, I don't know too much about his character because I really haven't spent too much screen time with him thus far, but he kind of looks more of a, just by his looks alone, he looks very manly and very, not manly, more like gentlemanly, like Capricorn was, so more like a, less of a pig and more stern, and I feel like he is not going to be he's not going to be as pig-headed towards women, so I feel like whatever their personality was before is going to be the exact opposite based on some of the characters we've seen, and a Virgo and Aries and Aquarius. Virgo, of course, is, as we know, massive. Is a May who likes to be punished. That's hot. I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna say I find that kind of hot. And now she's a dominatrix in leather, and now she gets off. Now she starts blushing whenever she starts punishing people. She's like, "Oh, scream and cry more." Yeah. Like, she just a complete 180, not even half, like, it's completely, totally different from her original character, and I do kind of like that. I do find that kind of interesting. But it also makes, kind of, to a certain degree, what their personalities would be like, kind of predictable, and try to, like I say, we didn't really see much of Taurus in this episode, but, you know, I can kind of guess what they're trying to go with him. Sagittarius didn't really... I don't know really how to say about Sagittarius' character in general. He, to me, doesn't really have much. He's just more kind of sort of goofy, as it were, and he still seems kind of that way, just slightly in a different way. Scorpio, he's more like, "Whatcha, badass, woohoo!" More of like that kind of biker dude, like, "What up, dude? We're badass. Suck it, bitches." That's how he comes off to me. And he just seems kind of quiet and more reserved. He has clothes on, and that's how he's different. Just from seeing him, I can tell like where they're trying to go with his character. Libra and Pisces, they're the other celestial spirits. They're the other celestial spirit wizards spirits. So I don't think they're gonna be talking about those two in a later episode. We were talking about Virgo. Leo is very gentlemanly. He's a ladies' man. He's a charmer, and he's going, "Oh no, I don't want women to speak so familiar with me," and he's more flashy, more, "Look at how awesome I am." And Leo at first seemed like so chill. He's like, chill. Cancer just seems to be he's all about fashion and whatnot. He still kind of sees that way, but only more disco-y, I guess. And I don't know why, he just seems a lot. His character design seems a lot like freaking one of the I forgot his name, but he's like from one of the Powerpuff Girls. He was one of the biggest enemies to the Powerpuff Girls, and he was red and like it was obviously gay. That's how that's what he looks like to me. That's how this his Cancer's new alternate look looks like. Gemini are just twins, a twin girl, a twin guy. I really have to say much about them. We always talk about Tauros. Aries is actually kind of interesting. She's this, as everyone knows, she's this very moe, big-breasted, pale skin. I'm sorry all the time, and I really didn't get too much screen time with Aries. We got plenty of screen time with her, but we didn't really see her talking too much. And from what we saw of her, I can tell that her skin's basically the way Natsu charted, and her breasts seem to have shrunk, and she seems more outgoing. She's probably seeing more of a bit of a slut. Basically, the whole entire Leo Aries relationship, where Leo is very protective towards her, and Aries has a bit of a crush on her, but she just doesn't know how to go about it. I feel like it's going to be the exact opposite, where Leo just wants her to stay the fuck away, and Aries is going to be like, "Oh, hi, honey," and all that stuff. Basically how Juvie and Gray are a little bit, in a way, I guess. I'm not very good at explaining things, but in Capricorn, we saw him with a goat head on and big fat belly goat. I feel like he's going to be less gentlemanly and less badass and just more of an idiot. I'm not exactly sure about him just yet. We've only just seen one glimpse of him, and that wasn't very through on that glimpse. But yeah, I really do like this arc so far. Just in this one episode, I feel like this will turn out to be a really good arc. I feel like this is going to be one of my favorite arcs of the series. I've heard a rumor somewhere that I keep saying Naruto, that the fairy tale is going to be ending soon. I feel like this is the second, I think this is either the last or the second to last arc. I know it's going to be ending soon. I don't think it's going to be ending Bleach or Naruto Shippuden soon, but I do feel like it's going to be ending by 2016. Unlike Shippuden and Bleach are pretty much going to be ending this year, early next year. I still want to talk about this anime. The filler, I was not much of a fan of. Just wanted to get to the next arc already. I didn't like all some of the episodes. I just felt like were stupid. I wish they give I understand the filler arc to a degree, so we can give people a little bit of time to cool down. I don't necessarily know if it was filler or if it was just in the actual manga, but I don't feel like all those episodes were necessary. I feel like right after they all go home, everything starts getting quiet again. And as soon as the last episode of the actual arc, they should have just had that last week's episode, then this week's episode, then just start from there. I feel like there shouldn't have been no break, but that's just me and my own personal opinion. Though I do very much. What else to just talk on? Well, there really isn't much for me to talk about, other than the fact that I really do like this arc, and I really do like the direction they're having. It is very interesting. I'd like to see more backstory out of these celestial spirits, and I want to know, more importantly, why they're having a freaking rebellion in the first place. I want them to make it more interesting, other than the fact that they're tired of being humans, objects of fighting and whatnot. Because Bleach already did that. And they didn't do very well. Yeah, Bleach already did that with their Zanpatos or Heaven Rebellion, and for Fairy Tail to do this, I don't think that it's a very good idea if they try to make it interesting. They should try to do it differently than the way they do it and have an actual genuine good excuse and good reason behind it. But right now it all seems to be as a rebellion. And I'm not really a big fan of that idea, to be perfectly honest. I feel like the direction they should be going is more to the fact that, from a story writer's perspective, I feel like it should be more of a, more of them trying to find their independence, or I don't know. I just feel like it should be more of them saying, "Hey, humans, you suck. We rule," or something along those lines. Where they feel like they're not using the power correctly, and they want to be their own identities, or they feel like humans. I don't know how to say it, because it's just every way I try to spin it, it sounds like the exact same freaking thing, And I feel like to a certain degree, it's kind of hard to make a rebellion, of spirits trying to rebel against their masters, better than what Bleach did. Bleach, by the way, did actually have a fairly decent arc. I actually did like it. I did like the arc to a certain degree. I just feel like the only reason I didn't like that arc to begin with is right in the middle of the fucking Arangar arc. Right in the goddamn middle of it. That pissed me off. It's oh my god, what's happened next? What happens next? Ah, fuck, filler arc. And it just took me out of it right away because of the way it was placed was obviously filler. There's no two ones about it. It was obvious filler for even those who did not watch, who didn't know what filler was. Even those people who didn't know what filler was, they're going, that's filler. That shouldn't be there. Why is that there? Get out of the fucking way. And whatnot. But I hope they kind of make this interesting. Otherwise, it might just feel like that Bleach arc all over again. But I'm very much looking forward to this arc, and I hope it is interesting. But that's all I have to say. Please like, subscribe, and all that silly stuff. I hope you guys like this video, and I'll have another video for you guys, PAVA video for you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully.